Like this video and subscribe to the channel right now, and get 1 week of amazing luck. Most of the time we talk about plants that you can grow and eat. We enjoy having plants around us, whether we are indoors or outside. Most of them appear to be safe and are not just stunning. Unfortunately, someone has plans to create chemical defenses that can catch us off guard and endanger our lives. These are the top 15 bizarre and terrifying plants you never knew existed. Number 15. Doll's Eye. Given that doll's eye is a native of Northeast America, it is not surprising that so few people have heard of or seen them. You get the impression that these berries are following your every move with their protruding eyeballs as you pass past them because they resemble ordinary eyeballs or berries. Although they appear to be attractive from the outside, you should never get too close to them because of the consequences. They ripen in the summer and remain until the first frost. They can cause anything from cardiac arrest to death when they come into touch with people. Number 14. Brain Cactus. First of all, it's no surprise that this tree was given its name because it resembles the human brain. There are roughly 8 different types of this plant that are native to Mexico, and they come in a variety of sizes and forms, but they all share a similarity with the human brain. You start to wonder whether someone dropped their brain on the floor on the way to work or something as it gets older. This plant has no unique advantages, but people are amazed by how much it resembles a real body component. This particularity develops when a plant sustains an injury at an early age and is unable to recover from the traumatic event. It then chooses to grow into a twisted, convoluted shape as we see in this video. Number 13. Venus Flytrap. The Venus flytrap, which possesses a mouth-shaped trapping mechanism, is also referred to as the Lord of Predators in the plant kingdom. You probably assume that only animals could chew with an active mouth, but humans also have trigger hairs that can detect prey and prevent it from fleeing. One may wonder how it is able to distinguish between a catch and a passerby, yet it does it with ease. The plant can distinguish between live prey and inert objects like raindrops in a matter of seconds. It would let smaller prey pass that are not worth it while holding on to larger ones since they are worth the energy required for digestion. Number 12. Cuscuta. Due to its way of action, the cuscuta, also known as strangleweed, poses a hazard to other animals in the plant kingdom. Strangled hair, or cuscuta, encircles and enters the vascular systems of other plants. It would separate from the roots and rely entirely on the host's survival strategy. Does your farm employ this strategy? Because of how they operate in the forest, you should take all possible measures to eliminate them. The names witch's hair, devil's ringlet, and devil's gut were also given to it. These descriptions collectively demonstrate that the devil's goal is to suffocate the life out of everyone he or she comes into contact with. This characteristic is similar to that of cuscuta, a frightening plant with only 4 species native to northern Europe that can thrive in hot conditions. Number 11. Humongous Fungus. In the Malheur National Forest, a huge fungus spreads throughout the American subterranean. It is a mushroom that has endured for ages and is regarded as one of the oldest in the world. In the late 1980s, Barack discovered this marvel while conducting an experiment, and he invited other researchers to investigate it. They discovered during their investigation that the single plant, which covers an area of 3.7 square miles and may be spreading, is over 1,500 years old and weighs about 100,000 pounds. If you ever see them in the Oregon woodlands, try not to think too much about how much space they take up, because there may be more growing beneath you. Number 10. Tobacco. You might be asking why tobacco made this list when so many experts have argued for its advantages. We do not contest that fact, but in terms of the drawbacks, it is well known that the tobacco plant, particularly its leaves, is extremely dangerous. Nevertheless, it is still in use all over the world. Although it is not frightening to look at, swallowing it is one shortcut to death and leads in more than 5 million fatalities worldwide each year. Do you still think tobacco had no business being here? Number 9. Enchantress Plant. The enchantress plant, often known as piranha flowers, is a carnivorous plant that can be found throughout the Mario game series and will attack anyone that comes too close. This plant's head is primarily green or red, yet depending on the species, it can also display other colors. This cunning critter prefers to reside in or near pipes so that it is undetectable by any unlucky victims that may pass by. Only their big head is visible above the earth, and at times they appear to be real while other times they appear to be a creature straight out of a science fiction film. Some varieties of this plant have animal-like bodies, according to scientists, which allows them to move around on 2 feet. Insects that are drawn to this plant's feces like fragrance during bloom time may be oviparous insects, according to what they also claim. Number 8. Jimpai tree. Jimpai is renowned for being the most painful tree in the world, and you are accurate in assuming that this is because it has stinging hairs that pierce the human body and inject it with a strong neurotoxic. The majority of the time, bites result in death or serious health problems. Touching the plants is all it takes to become affected by this beast. It starts with a burning feeling and progresses to aching joints and armpit swelling. In the unfortunate event that this tree stings you, make sure to remove all of the hairs from your skin, since the more it grows back, the more toxins your body will emit. Better yet, seek immediate medical attention. Number 7. Dragon's blood tree. One animal that comes to mind even though it is extinct is the dragon. When a tree is named after the blood of a dragon, you know it's up to no good. The dragon's blood tree is so named because its crimson sap resembles blood and has gastrointestinal and anti-inflammatory effects that are utilized in many household and cosmetic products. The fluid is also thought to possess mystical qualities and be utilized in ritual magic to strengthen spells. Although it is unclear how this occurs, those who are familiar with the tree attest to its magical qualities. Number 6. Giant hogweed. The giant hogweed is another plant that you should not fall victim to. They look innocent on the outside, but are far from being so. In rare instances, rubbing your eyes after touching this plant's sap can result in temporary blindness and ugly blisters and scarring. This sap interacts with the DNA inside the nucleus of a person's skin cells and forms a connection. This is because when photosensitizing furniture marines, a harmful chemical found in the submarine, come into touch with your skin, they trigger a reaction that makes you particularly sensitive to light. Even after the sting has subsided, it leaves a purple scar that serves as a reminder of one of the bloodiest days of your life for months. Since the plant is beautiful, it's left unchanged until it has injured someone. Number 7. Corpse flower. The corpse flower belongs to the group of flowers known as corpse flowers because of its foul smell, which draws pollinators like flies and beetles. Because it is composed of smaller blooms, it is occasionally referred to as the largest flower in the world. Its beauty draws plant enthusiasts who wish to photograph it and share it with the world. However, you don't want to smell like a corpse, therefore you might not be able to tolerate it. Perhaps not even a facial covering could do it justice. The fact that this plant can further disguise itself as dead flesh to draw flies and insects makes it even stranger. The rest is history, as these victims approach too closely. Number 4. Bladderwort. This underwater bladderwort functions like a vacuum. It is skilled at entrapping insects. The bladderworts have one of the most advanced trapping systems in the plant kingdom, and they eat any unfortunate animal that gets caught in their snapdragon as maws. These plants can survive everywhere, unlike most carnivorous ones, but they favor floating in freshwater. Remember that there could be a bladderwort nearby the next time you go swimming. Number 3. Bleeding tooth fungus. If I told you there is a plant that is a reproduction of a bleeding tooth with a more supernatural undertone, would you ever imagine what your bleeding tooth looked like? We all agree that mushrooms have a strange appearance and come in a variety of dangerous forms, but when used in the context of fairy dwellings, they may also be rather lovely. Although the bleeding tooth fungus may not meet the usual definition of an unappealing plant, it nevertheless contributes to your skin's fair share of goosebumps. This is due to the fact that the plant emits a jammy, smelly fluid from its holes that looks like blood. Number 2. Red tide. Regardless matter when it occurs, the red tide is a bad omen. This tide is a toxic algae that emerges from the ocean floor and can happen after a bad storm. When these algae obtain an excessive amount of nutrients, they grow out of control and suffocate marine life. They are ugly to look at because they make you think of the shower scene from Psycho. In addition to the horrors that repeat over and over in your imagination, it also kills marine life weeks after it appears in the ocean. You'll start noticing sea creatures washing up on coasts and beaches, since this toxic algae is the antithesis of everything a fisherman wants to see at sea. Not all red tides cause the ocean to turn red, some are hidden, and you only see them when they have an impact on the ecology nearby. Number 1. Loco weed. The native weed's blossoms are also referred to as the devil's trumpet or the hell snare. Tobacco, peppers, tomatoes, and eggplant are its closest cousins. Ranchers and farmers avoid this plant like the plague because it is known to make livestock sick or even kill them. Because it is used to generate a medication that compels unknowing victims to agree with their attackers' demands, it is also hazardous to human health. The most absurd aspect is that individuals consume this to feel high. One impact of using deliriants, according to scientists, is that you are unaware that you have completely lost touch with reality. The victim struggles to return to reality because they are overcome by complex delusions. There you have it. These 15 plans should be avoided at all costs. If you've had any experience with them, please tell us in the comment box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more updates.